about a lot of your time as a freelance grant writer is indirect time. So let's talk to you grant writers out there. There's direct time, there's indirect cost, right? Think of a grant that has direct cost and indirect cost. The indirect cost often include admin, utilities, etc. I want you to think of this as where you include sales call time, marketing, admin, and more into your indirect cost. And you need to include this time into your pricing. Hi, my name is Holly Rustick, and I'm the CEO of the Grant Professional Mentorship and the Freelance Grant Writer Academy. We help aspiring and seasoned grant writers replace your full-time income on part-time hours writing grants from home. So what do you underestimate the time that it takes to do? Well, for one thing, writing grants. Even knowing the different types of grants and how long it takes. How long does it take to write a foundation grant on average? A federal grant on average? A state grant on average? How much time does it take to write a letter of inquiry? How about grant prospects and finding them? You could easily go down the rabbit hole on this, but we need to really understand on average how long it takes you. Also, emailing clients, talking to funding sources, working on your financials in your business, doing your marketing, doing your industry updates, paying attention to all the stuff that's going on with grants, doing regular admin, and so much more. And what happens when you don't accurately count or track your time? According to our friends over at Global Development Solutions and GEMS, who is also our partner, they conduct an annual pricing report among grant professionals. And we have the link in the show notes, so make sure you check it out. What happens is you don't get paid for your work, and you are essentially volunteering. And if you don't get paid for your work, then you are not able to sustain your business. So you need to know how much time that things take you to do. So how do you track your time? We recommend using tracking tools like Toggle. This can be really helpful because it's digital, and at a click of a button, you can see where all your time is going. In the Grant Professional Mentorship, we like to use time tracking tools so we can compare how much time we are spending on things like communicating with your team, doing your admin, invoicing, finances, emails, all of that, sales calls, marketing, writing grants, and doing your service work, scaling with training. Maybe you want to add another service like training, on-demand courses, coaching, and getting coached, right? We want to be able to track our time for all of these. Then we can look at our finances and compare it to the time to figure out business decisions. This can happen at a click of a button if you're using something electronic or if you're really savvy and knowing how to set up an Excel sheet. Inside the Grant Professional Mentorship, we show you how to do a comparison of time versus revenue to make solid business decisions. This is so important in scaling your grant writing business. So for example, you could create a client, and I'm quoting this inside Toggle, that is called administrative work. From there, you can create projects that are connected to the client administrative, such as finances, invoicing, and emails. And think of those like subcategories under the main category client. And then when you're creating your invoices and working on them, in Toggle, you could select the project invoices under the client admin. So invoice to admin, right? Administrative. Then you can hit the record button to track your time while you're doing your invoices. And then you can run reports. And this would be for each part. Like if you're doing your finances, that could be a project under client. If you're doing your email, that could be a project under administrative, right? So all of a sudden you're linking all of your different subcategories underneath a main category. And at a click of a button, you could just look at your big main categories to see what your time is at the end of a month or a quarter or a year, or all three of these. And then you can really understand where you're spending your time. And of course, if you want to dissect and dig it down a little bit more, you could look at each one of those subcategories or those projects. And why this is important is because you need to know how much time you're spending doing all of the things in your business. So how does this time tracking help you with business decisions? This is brilliant because you will be able to start making decisions. Maybe you see that it takes you 2 hours every month to create invoices. you would try to find solutions, right, to streamlining this, because that's taking up quite a bit of time to do one task. So what we would have you do then is to look at each part of your time and ask these 4 questions. Can I eliminate this? Can I delegate this? Can I automate this? Or can I pause this? So you really want to get really micro on what's taking all of your time. And to be able to set up a simple structure inside of something like Toggle will enable you to do that. So you're not having to keep track of it in a planner somewhere and try to calculate it all together. And that's just taking too long. But once you get this set up with here are the main tasks that I work on, and they would be considered under this category, and you set that up and then you track that, then we want you to actually look back at it every month, every quarter, every year. And when you're looking at that, once again, ask yourself these 4 questions. Can I eliminate this? Can I delegate this? Can I automate this? Or do I need to pause this? And this is really important because as you're scaling a grant writing business or any type of freelance business, you are going to want to bring on some people to support you. And you are going to need to know how long it takes you to do different things. Or you may want to buy some software to assist you with some of these things if you're going to delegate them or automate them. So we need to understand exactly what the impact is when you're doing it manually, systems to set up, maybe just to make it more efficient, or if you also need to delegate or automate or just stop doing it. Or maybe pause it. It's not a priority right now and it's taking too much of your time. Put it on the back burner for another quarter. So run through each of these items and ask how you can make these tasks more efficient by one of the 4 ways. Let's look at our example here. You can't eliminate invoices or pause them. You're going to need to send them to your clients. But you could possibly delegate creating and sending invoices to a virtual assistant, right? So you could have somebody that actually you've been setting them up, you know how to do it, you can create an SOP real quick and then have somebody else start doing that. So you're not the one doing it. And you know that it should take no more than 2 hours to do at the very most. And if it's taking them longer, there's something wrong. There's a system that needs to be fixed because you know how long it takes. Or better yet, you could check and see if your payment processor can automatically create invoices and email them to clients each month. These are just 2 simple examples of running through the eliminate, pause, automate, or delegate questions to really understand your time. But if you're not tracking your time, you're not going to have the baseline data to even ask these 4 questions. Track hourly, but don't charge hourly. So I'm talking a lot about tracking hourly. So you're like, oh, I should charge hourly. No, you should track all your hours, but this is just going to help you understand how to include your time into your cost. You can think about a lot of your time as a freelance grant writer as indirect time. So let's talk to you grant writers out there. There's direct time, there's indirect cost, right? Think of a grant that has direct cost and indirect cost. The indirect cost often include admin, utilities, etc. I want you to think of this as where you include sales call time, marketing, admin, and more into your indirect cost. And you need to include this time into your pricing. You can charge hourly, but there are cons to pricing hourly and charging hourly. These cons are that the more you get to know your clients, the quicker you start writing grants or doing your service delivery work, and that equates to the more experienced and valuable you become to your clients, your price reduces. You get paid less because you're working fewer hours. Plus, when submitting hours every month to clients, your clients tend to start nitpicking them and don't understand the overhead elements. We instead recommend charging packages or retainer pricing. Packages is you will charge a specific amount for a specific scope of work for a specific amount of time. Retainers are you will charge a set monthly rate each month for deliverables over a duration of time. When you track hourly, you will be able to understand on average how much time it takes to complete your task. This will help you with your overall pricing. This will also help you when you want to onboard a virtual assistant or a junior grant writer into your business. Tracking your time is so important to make business decisions, have actually a baseline and data for making those business decisions very neutrally and with data. All right, make sure you check out all of the show notes today.